I was sitting one evening, watching television without really paying attention. The screen was on. The volume was low. One of those ordinary moments when nothing important is supposed to happen. You're not waiting for anything. You're not expecting a surprise. You're just passing time. And then, by coincidence, a spring 2026 fashion show appeared. At first, I kept watching the way you watch anything you don't care about. Out of habit, out of boredom. My eyes were on the screen, but my mind wasn't. Then something slowly pulled me back. Not shock, not excitement, confusion. Women walked down the runway wearing objects that barely resembled clothing, not dresses, not statements, just shapes, containers, things placed on bodies. Nothing about them invited understanding. Nothing explained itself. Men followed, wrapped in torn fabric, as if damage itself had been carefully styled on purpose. I tried to understand what I was looking at. I waited for context, for an explanation, for a moment where it would suddenly make sense. It didn't come. So I stopped looking at the clothes and started looking at the room, the audience, rows of people sitting perfectly still, phones raised, cameras, ready faces focused, not confused, not curious, certain. Photos were taken constantly, not quickly, not secretly, deliberately. People weren't reacting, they were documenting, as if whatever was happening was already important, already meaningful, simply because it was happening here. Applause followed, long, confident, certain. That was the moment I stopped looking at the runway and started looking at myself. Because nothing there felt hesitant, no confusion, no doubt, only agreement. Designers were introduced as visionaries, as innovators, as voices shaping the future. And no one asked what exactly was being said. I asked myself a very simple question. Are they insane? Or am I the only one who doesn't understand? Who decides that this is fashion? Who names it? Who confirms it? And at what moment does everyone stop asking and start applauding? I smiled. Not because it was funny, but because something felt familiar. I imagined myself as a fashion designer. The cardboard box from my new refrigerator could easily become a jacket, just cut 2 holes for the arms. The plastic bag I used earlier to carry vegetables might be the next iconic headpiece. It sounded ridiculous, and yet not entirely impossible, because confidence was doing all the work. No one was asking what it meant. They were recording it, preserving it, sharing it, as if meaning was guaranteed the moment it was photographed. A few days later, a colleague from work invited me to an art exhibition. I went with him out of curiosity. Nothing more. I didn't prepare. I didn't read about the artist. I didn't expect anything. We walked slowly through the gallery. White walls, large frames, wide spaces. People moved quietly, almost carefully, as if sound itself might interfere with the experience. I didn't comment on anything, I just walked. But inside, something else was happening. I didn't understand what I was looking at. Lines, smudges, colors that didn't form anything familiar. And yet, everyone around me seemed absolutely certain. They stood still. They stared, they nodded slightly. So I did what they were doing. I stepped closer to a painting, then stepped back, tilted my head a little, as if value would suddenly appear from the correct distance, as if there was something invisible to the untrained eye, but obvious to those who knew how to look. My colleague sat down in front of one piece, staring at it in silence. So I sat beside him, trying to look thoughtful, engaged, present. In truth, it was just a break, a time out, a moment to rest my feet from all the walking. We stood up again and continued. And that's when I noticed it. A large gathering in one corner of the gallery. People standing close together, whispering, leaning forward. Something was happening there. At the center of it all was a painting. A large black canvas, almost completely dark. And in the middle of it, a single white dot. Nothing else. The contrast was sharp, the simplicity almost aggressive. Then I heard the number, $3 million. That was the moment I finally asked my colleague, why? He looked at me with calm certainty and said, you don't understand. That dot represents goodness in the dark world. I nodded. I wasn't disagreeing with the original artist. Not at all. I understand the idea. The world today is dark. And yes, there is a white dot, a glimpse of good. I don't deny that. But for $3 million, I looked again. I really tried to see what everyone else was seeing. But what stayed with me wasn't the dot. It was the silence around it. It was the effort everyone was making to understand it. On my way back, something uncomfortable surfaced. The madness I'd seen on the runway and in the art exhibition was not distant. It wasn't foreign. It was familiar. I once bought an expensive smartphone because it had 4 cameras, even though I rarely take photos. And when I do, I press one button and move on. I didn't need it. I didn't even want it. I just didn't want to feel behind, outdated, different. And that realization was unsettling because it meant something simple and inconvenient. They are not exempt from the madness, and neither are we. The difference is not intelligence, it's presentation. Their madness is visible, displayed, celebrated under bright light. Ours is quieter, explained, justified as choice or taste or staying relevant. We watch, we smile, we shake our heads, and then we do the same thing somewhere else. Maybe the problem isn't fashion or art or inspiration. Maybe the problem is how easily meaning is assigned. Once everyone agrees to clap, later that night, after the walking, after the pretending, after the effort, I went home tired. Not physically, mentally. Still thinking about all of this, I took a blank sheet of paper and asked my wife for a black pen. I placed a single black dot in the center of the white page. Then I handed the pen back to her. She looked at it and asked, "What is this?" I looked at her calmly and said, "This is the world as I hope it will be tomorrow, for free."